statements that were shared by Nelson Chamisa when he said there is no constitution in Zimbabwe to defend. And also he has questioned the timing of the formation of the political party. Is it a party or movement? By Nelson Chamisa, saying this came when Jameson Timba, one of the individuals who was advancing the interest of Nelson Chamisa, formed an organization to specifically defend resolution number 1 of ZANU-PF. A lot of people have questioned whether Nelson Chamisa is coming to actually defend against the term extension for Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, or is coming for the purposes of making it easier for Mnangagwa to remain as the president up to 2030. Let's hear the views of Jealous Mawarire. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel. So do remember to press the red or black subscribe so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So today, the video that necessitated the statement from Jealous Mawarire.
If ZANU were to wake up, it's inconsequential. It doesn't exist. Even if ZANU were to wake up tomorrow and impose a parliamentary circus and fast-track things, that does not change the fact that Zimbabweans do not support that stupidity. That's foolishness. You know, it's a walk in the dark. It's a walk on the slippery slope, and they will fall. We have to organize. Citizens who are organized and mobilized can change a government anytime, particularly if the government is a disputed one, and it has been rendered illegal and illegitimate even by SADC, even by the AU, even by all the observer missions. So our focus is on false fights. That's what I said. Don't fight a false fight.
So this is Nelson Chamisa.
Assuming that we go and fight that so-called 2050, it doesn't succeed and we say we are successful. What is the definition of success? 2028? No, that's not success. Even 2020 is not success. Success is for us to resolve what's broken. The constitutional order that has been thrown out through the window. Go and guard against abuses in government so that the governmental order is restored. So the issue is not about defending what's not there. The constitution can't be defended when it's not there. You can't defend a nullity unless if you are a nullity. You can't defend what does not exist. There's no constitution in this country. Even those who are in government know that the constitution has been shredded apart. That's why they can have a party resolution being imposed on a people. Where do you have a party resolution being a national resolution? You want to sustain a nation on the basis of party or partocracy, state-party conflation. No. Zimbabweans are bigger than political parties. If you're ZANU, you are a numerator. You can't be the denominator. The denominator is Zimbabwe. We must all come together and debate issues about the country. If you want to go it alone. And we'll teach you that you can't walk alone when you are talking about national issues. It's for all of us. It's for all for us to come together and define the common way forward. So we don't want to be invited into factional fights within ZANU and join. The crisis is a governance crisis, a constitutional order breakdown crisis, a governmental order breakdown crisis, the absence of elections. We go into an election as a ritual. What Museveni has done in Uganda, what we saw in Tanzania, partially what happened in Mozambique. That phenomenon must be arrested and curtailed. And it takes citizens who are bold, decisive, and are clear about what they want, and who lead the church.
Okay, so that's Nelson Chamisa. Now I want to read to you what Jealous Mawarire has actually said. He said, isn't it suspicious that days after Senator Jameson Timba launched his own partisan group to defend the Constitution from mutilation by ZANU-PF through the illegal so-called Resolution Number 1, which seeks to illegally extend Idi Mnangagwa's term beyond the 2028 constitutional limit. Nelson Chamisa comes in and declares that there is no constitution defend in Zimbabwe? Is Chamisa trying to stall efforts to fight the 2030 agenda? If so, for whose benefit, whose bidding is he doing? What is even bizarre is that Chamisa goes on to declare that his fight is about stolen elections. uh, Elections held in a country without a constitution cannot be stolen because not having a constitution suggests an absence of rules governing those elections. And in the absence of rules, there is no electoral fraud because the contest is a free for all, survival of the fittest, jungle like engagement. Chamisa, as a lawyer, should have been alive to the fact that there can't be electoral fraud, which he claims happened in 2018 and 2023, if there are no legal framework to guide the administration of those elections, as suggested by his no constitution claim. What is apparent is that there is more to Chamisa's return to active politics at this time than what he is giving out. His no constitution to defend declaration is meant to pour cold water on efforts by the likes of Jameson Timba to fight Iti Mnangagwa's 2030 agenda. The question then is why? That's the $64 million question that people have. It, it's not just the claim that there is no constitution to defend. That is bizarre for a politician of Chamisa's stature. The claim that demonstrations are useless is also as suspicious as they come. Last year, whilst he was still enjoying his sabbatical from politics, Chamisa immediately sprouted out of his political exile to pour cold water on efforts by blessed girls to organize demonstrations against its attempt to mutilate the constitution and continue in power beyond the 2028 constitutional limit, amongst other issues. It is coincidental that now, after Timba and others declared that they are forming an organization to fight the same attempts by ET to violate the constitution and extend his stay in office beyond the 2018 constitutional limit, Chamisa sprouts out and declares that there is no constitution to defend. Now, there is no constitution to defend. So I'm reading Jealous Mawarire's statement. It's not from me. I will also come with my input on this matter. It is quite evident that no constitution to defend declaration is a direct attack on Timba and others for their rally point. For their rally point is defending the constitution against its plan to mutilate it through constitutional amendment bill 3, which seeks to extend its incumbency to 2030. So by declaring that there is no constitution to defend, Chamisa is tacitly endorsing its 2030 agenda through political and constitutional disingenuity. He is saying it is not violating any constitution because there is no constitution to violate in the first place. A deliberate political disingenuous statement meant to turn a blind eye to its political chicanery, meant to extend his rule to 2030. That makes Chamisa part of its plans and never the antithesis. History is littered with Trojan horses. The question here is whose Trojan horse is he? So you see, these are very, very pertinent questions that are raised by Chilas Mawarire. You know, in Zimbabwe, unfortunately, we have got people who, when they support someone, they are so stamped to such an extent that they don't even listen to these very, very pertinent questions. Now, I think he asked a very important question. If you are coming to the people, then you say there is no constitution to defend, but you are talking of defending 2018 elections, defending 2023 elections, then what rule book are you going to use to defend this constitution. And also, I think these political leaders should have good advisors around them. Definitely in Zimbabwe, of course, the constitution, Mnangagwa started mutilating it as he took office in 2017, but it must be underscored that it does exist. There is a constitution that the people voted for in 2013, and Mnangagwa has been mutilating it. It ought to be defended as it was, because it was created by the people. People were involved in the process. They even voted for it. It's a document that has to be presented, because you cannot talk of defending 2030 term extension without the backup of the constitution. Otherwise, how do you defend that without a document which clearly stipulates that Mnangagwa should not extend his term of office up to 2030? I think Chamisa has to explain a lot. That statement is bizarre, to say the least, because people who have been supporting him, like Jameson Timba, for example, they have been loud in terms of Mnangagwa not to be allowed to mutilate the constitution of 2013. Now, if I say the constitution of 2013, I'm simply saying even the amendments that he made should be disregarded. I'm standing on what was put together as a constitution in 2013 by the people. Of course, Mnangagwa does not follow that constitution, but that does not mean it's not there. It's a document that exists. I don't know what really influenced Nelson Chamisa to speak like that, but these are very, very ugly words that may get a lot of people. Now, if you look at what was said by Jameson Timba when he was launching his organization to defend 2030 term extension, and what has been said by Nelson Chamisa, there is some form of contradiction. But these are the people who have been supporting him. He stood for CCC, waiting for him to get back into the game. And as such, there was supposed to be some form of alignment and some form of appreciation and respect for the role the man has played in making sure that Chamisa is defended in his absence. So that was reckless, and I'm not so sure whether it was reckless or it's depicting things to come. But otherwise, if then Chamisa is coming in, what is he coming in for? If it's not to defend the constitution? That is the question that may, $1 million question that may be asked. If you are coming through as a political party, now you are coming through, which rules are you going to defend? You're going to defend international rules, and maybe if he says so, but that statement is as confusing as a strategic ambiguity of which the enemy can easily manipulate it. I know he has a lot of supporters. They would just defend him whenever of whatever he says. But you see, it's high time we get supporters who actually hold even the leaders they love to account for each and every statement they make. I would never be a bootlicker like to say, you know, if anyone, even in ZANU-PF, if anyone says something, I'll stand up and say, I'm not afraid of it. This is the platform, my rules, and the way I want it to be run. So anyone will just, when I was reading what has been written by Jealous Mawarire, it makes some sense. It makes some sense vis-a-vis what was actually said by Nelson Chamisa. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red